Hey, what's up everybody? Slimchans here, doing my very first GTA car review. For this review I will be doing the Coil Brawler. Now, this car just came out on DLC. Uh, I was excited about it from the moment I saw it in the Newswire picture, and that's kind of how it ended up being my first car to review. I'll be testing it offline in story mode because it's just easier to do it that way and get it going. Then later on, I'll get it online. I always test new cars offline, but here it is. It's $715,000, which is actually, I was expecting a 900 to $1 million car when I first saw it, but we'll go ahead and buy it, and then we'll head over to Franklin's garage and check it out. Alright, so here we are entering the garage. Let's see how this thing looks in person. First looks. Kind of excited. I'm a big fan of the car. It's based off of the Rally Fighter. I want one. Don't think I'll ever actually afford to get a Rally Fighter myself, so I'll settle for the Coil Brawler for now. First looks at it, it's actually very close in concept to the Rally Fighter. Uh, I like the looks of it. You know, it's kind of off looking, but in a way that's what makes it look good to me. I know this car ain't for everybody. Some people probably think this thing's butt ugly, but it looks the part. So we'll go ahead and take her out, give her a little spin in stock form, see how it does. On the way over to Los Santos Customs to customize it. I like the sound of this car. And it seems to have pretty decent acceleration already. I'm taking it a little easy right now. I ain't really wanting to get on it and thrash it and stuff just yet.
That's dumb luck right there.
But so far the car feels good on the street and stock. A little quick on the air controls there. Kind of changes angles and stuff real easily in the air. Landed jump pretty smoothly too. Makes me want to try this jump right up here. Get some big air with this car, see how it does. It moves real quick with the stick. Lands smooth, no bounce. I like that. A little bit of a wreck there. My bad. Alright, let's see what options we got for this car. Of course, I'm going to put the standard armor, engine, transmission, all that stuff on it. Brakes. Bumpers. Bars with lights. Oh, I like the look of the bar with winch. Kind of wish it was the same shape as the other one. Just rear bar. Rear bar. Oh, I like the spare tire on it better too. Roll cage, of course. Let's see. Yeah, definitely. I like the way it changes the seats too. Or the engine upgrade. Lights, yes. I'm not going to put neons on it for right now. I just checking out the car for its performance. Let's see. Well, let's go simple. Matte black. And we'll do a bright purple secondary. Purple's my favorite color. Yeah, you got Schaefer purple, I think. Yeah. The roof. I like with rack. I don't like that extra tire kind of on top. It looks weird. Can change the suspension. I'm gonna leave it stock height just so I have ground clearance. I like ground clearance on my off-road vehicles. My Sand King, Rebel, and all them are stock height. Change the wheels. Let's see. I'm gonna go with these. They're closest to the one that on the spare. The problem is I wish they'd changed the spare along with the freaking actual wheels. No, the front stock wheels don't look too bad, but I want to go with these. We'll paint them black. I don't know why Rockstar doesn't give us a chance to change the freaking rear wheel too to match the wheels that you're actually running.
You'd need a rocket launcher to put a flattened nose.
Maybe it's just too complex or something. I don't know. Of course, black out the windows. Alright, here we are, rolling it out. First time modified. Let's give this baby a try. Alright, first I'm going to try to see if it's two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. So I'll put it up against the wall, rev it up, and let her go. And it's two-wheel drive. I kind of expected it to be four-wheel drive, but it's two-wheel drive. Looks like rock crawling, stuff like that. Some of the harder stuff that Sand Kings and Rebels can crawl over, not going to be quite as possible in this car. Oh, let's give it a high-speed test. Check out acceleration, check out the top end, see how it does. Well, seems to have very little wheel spin off the line. The double clutch is actually pretty strong on this one. We are running about 90. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Got another shift in there. Got up to 95-ish. Yeah, around about 95 before the end of the runway. I was hoping more in the 100-mile-an-hour range, but pretty close. See if we can't get a longer run on it later. So give it another second run, see how it does. Still got, let's see, past 90, pushing up. Looks like about 95 is all I can do on the airport runway. Alright. Alright, now we're just going to give it a little highway test, see how it does. It does seem like a confident vehicle on the pavement. It's actually very stable for compared to what I kind of expected with it being so high off the ground. But apparently, from what I've read about the Rally Fighter, it's pretty much about the same way. It actually handles better than people expect it to. Decent speed. These longer sweeping corners at high speeds, it seems to like them. Not too hard to weave through the traffic there. Get it on straight away. We're going to check out and see what kind of speed we got since we're already going. We're pushing closer to 100 now. It's not bad. Let's see. Get around this dump truck. I kind of clipped it a little bit, but didn't really slow me down too much. Sitting right at 100 miles an hour. Alright. Well, I guess we'll move on to what's next. Alright, now we're going to get down to what this car is actually about. We're going to try it off-road. First we're going to try a speed run across the beach here. Just see what acceleration speed is like in the sand, because we all know that cars tend to slow down on dirt and sand. So let's give it a try and see what this thing can really do. So it comes off the line pretty smoothly, very limited wheel spin. I'm liking the traction this car has. Gets up to speed rather quickly, getting about 85 on the going across the beach. Actually a little higher than I expected. We come through a pier. I kind of messed up my line. I was paying attention to the speedometer. Comes out across that little boardwalk jump rather easily, and took the turn actually easily coming out from the other side of the pier. So here we are back up to about 85, getting close to almost 90 miles an hour, so almost pretty close to the speed we were going down the airport runway. Well, now we're going to try it with some light rock crawling, see how it does. You know, my concern, as I mentioned before, is this car is two-wheel drive, not four-wheel drive, so I'm not going to push it too hard on the rocks like I would a Sand King or a Karen Rebel, or some of the other bigger four-wheel drive trucks. But getting across the rocks, that small part was actually not that bad. Get a little bit rougher on it. Amazing traction with the rear wheels on that. Actually pushes it through. I'm having to use a good bit more throttle than I would with, you know, one of the bigger four-wheel drive trucks and stuff, but it seems to handle the bumps and jarring actually rather well. It finds this footing and actually accelerates out very nicely. Seems like whenever the back tires are actually on the ground, as long as the incline ain't too high, it seems like the car can actually do better than I thought. One thing I noticed, like just back there, the car actually takes jumps, you know, even smaller jumps, better than some of the vehicles like the Dubsta 6x6 or the Guardian or something like that, because they kind of bounce around on the back end a lot more, where this just basically hits the ground and the suspension absorbs all the impact and it stays very composed and smoothly comes out of the landing and keeps going. Yeah, I'm really thinking about the next time I go me and my crew do an off-road trail run. Might actually try this car out on it. Normally I use a Sand King or a Karen Rebel for, you know, online trail runs, but this car might actually kind of hang with them. I mean, I know there's some spots that the other vehicles, the four-wheel drives, can go that this might not be able to, but hell, I'll give it a try. See how it does comparatively, and it does seem a good bit faster than most off-road vehicles. Alright, now we're going to try on a hill climb. This is actually the beginning of one of our trails that we usually go on. Accelerates uphill rather nicely. The really good suspension on this car seems to just compensate for any off-kilter terrain or whatever. Takes the bumps rather well. There it goes again, just landing a smaller jump smoother than some of the other vehicles would. kind of realized I have to actually slow down with this car a little bit compared to some of the other vehicles because it'll overshoot on a jump. I almost lost it back there. See, there's that great traction working again. Pulls it right over that larger boulder back there. And we get to the top of a hill, and it seems no worse for wear. Now we're going to try a downhill run, just high-speed downhill run, see how it does. I've actually expected to do pretty decently at high speeds going downhill. Not really expecting any issues out of it, but we'll see how it does. There goes that good air controllability. I mean, it takes a little bit to work with. The car recovers rather easily. Taking jumps, going through here. If I was doing this in like the Guardian or the Dubsta 6x6, even the Karen Rebel, I'd have a little bit more issues with how the vehicle wants to bounce up off the ground and not want to land quite as flat as as this does. I mean, it recovers rather well. A little bit of water crossing there. I haven't really tried it too much on water crossing. I think I'll try that online later. So let's see what it does compared to some of the other vehicles. Alright, now we're going to try it on my rally test course. We'll just see how it handles high-speed sections and stuff. This course I've decided to use for most of my off-road testing when I try to build a rally car or test a off-road vehicle. The first section here is high speed going onto asphalt. Later up here, going past the Lost Trailer Park. Then coming up into the more low-speed, tight and twisty sections up through the mountains. Just really shakes down the car, and with terrain, transfers and stuff, just to see how it does going from dirt to asphalt, from high speed to low speed. There's a few smaller high-speed jumps. Some you'd see kind of more in an actual rally race or Baja style. So we'll see how this car does. So far, once again, good on the acceleration high-speed section. Suspension just working really well to keep the car under control and absorbing the impacts of the rough terrain here. Small jump does really well off that jump. Hardly any speed lost when you come off these jumps, and it's because it's easy to keep the car in the direction you want it to be, and just they ain't even had to let off the throttle at all to get the car back under control. Coming into the asphalt section, it's actually going through these curves rather well. Got kind of braked late on that first curve, but the car actually recovers. It's forgiving, so it covers really well on the high-speed stuff. Coming up in the first tight corner, a little bit of rally action, drift. Not really trying it for time. I'm just, shaking this car down and seeing how it does. There's a couple of parts in here where the car almost flips, or just more user error than it is the car's issues. But it's still handling the way I throw it. I'm intentionally hanging out the rear end just to, get that more rally style turning and seeing if I can, how hard I can push it to see if it'll just lose control on me. Come around these corners, I pushed it a little too hard there, trying to get a little bit more of the rally drift, and yeah, that was my fault. But unlike, some vehicles, I would have completely spun it around, and this car just, easy to recover from. Okay, coming up into the last section before we hit the end point here. And yeah, I would say I'm pretty impressed in how it does there. It handled it pretty well. So far, I really like this car. Definitely buying it when I get online. Probably won't have quite the same paint job that I did here. So in future videos, if it's in the videos, it's gonna look a little different. Alright, that pretty much concludes my testing of the and little mini review of the Brawler. Final thoughts, I really like it. It's an awesome little car. Probably one of the best DLC cars we've gotten in a long time. Handles well, it's got power, does really what it should do, what you expect it to do. There's still that little, wish it was four-wheel drive, but it seems to do really good with two-wheel drive. In the comments, let me know what you think about it. See if you like it or whatever. Give it a try. Test it out. I mean, and you can test them out on story mode without having to spend your online money, just like I did. And yeah, the cars are a little bit faster on story mode than they are online, but it does give you a base comparison between what it would do compared to another car. Other than that, hit like, subscribe, and check out Dinero Mob on the Social Club and PS4, PS3. If you feel like going trailing with me, look me up. Same name, Slimchans, spelled with an S, on PSN. Sometimes on PS3, sometimes on PS4. Otherwise, check for some of the details in the outro screen.